15 years in education after serving in the United States Air Force. Ms. Ladie provides leadership to the Division of Strategy and Innovation since 2016. She became a certified Clifton Strengths coach to assist individuals with talent development plans. Ladie's top strengths include learner, intellection, positivity, relator, and communication. She utilizes those strengths every day in her various roles at Lone Star College. She attributes her success to operating within her talents, both personally and professionally, aiming to facilitate growth and learning opportunities for others. Everyone, please give me a warm virtual welcome and to Ms. Kentry Ladie.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you for that, Raquel. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. All right. Awesome. Welcome, Heapsters. I am so excited. You have no idea. We've been talking about this for a very long time. This is our 5th annual HeapCon. I just wanted to thank you all. You could have chose to be anywhere today, and you wanted to be a part of HeapCon. Those who have been with us for the past couple of years, I think it's a testament to, I think this is a really good conference for a support staff, administrative professionals. We created this just for you 5 years ago. We recognized back then that there wasn't really a place for administrative support for them to advance or to go into to conferences that really supported the work that administrative support do for higher education institutions. And we said, well, if there's not one out there, then we're going to create one, and we're going to make it 100% virtual so that everyone in the country, anyone who is interested, everyone, if getting away from your campus, your office is not possible, then we'll bring it to you in your state, in your office, wherever you are. And so it is growing, and we love it. To have all these states represented is amazing. I wanted to also take an opportunity to thank the committee that put this together. Actually, you're hearing from Raquel. She is one, but Gracia Talbot, she's the coordinator 3. She and her team, she will probably introduce the rest of her team, but she has been working hard on this for several months, getting excited up until this point. And we just really think that this is a great opportunity, like I said, for support staff, administrative support. I think this is our first year also that we've had administrative support that's not in a higher ed industry. It's getting around that this is a really good conference. More so too, I want to say that the reason why this is really important to me, as you see, yes, I'm an administrator at Lone Star College. And what I am always saying is, if it was not for our support staff, if it was not for administrative support, we could not do what we do as administrators and leadership. We absolutely must have, can't live without the work that you do. We appreciate, if no one tells you, I am telling you today, we appreciate you. I cannot do my work without my support staff, and that does include Gracia Talbot, Raquel Arsenault, and actually many of the ones that you're going to hear from today. We have a great lineup for you. We have everything from workplace communication, Microsoft 365, some wellness. We try to put together a great lineup of workshops for you. And so without further ado, that's my part today, is to welcome you into the HeapCon conference and to thank you for the hard work that you do for your institution every day. We are in higher education, and we want to be sure that you are fed like everyone else is with good information and knowledge to help you be better and great at the current role that you are in. So welcome, 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 and have a happy HeapCon day. Bye-bye. I'm turning it back over to Raquel.
Thank you so much, Kentry. What a warm welcome. And we appreciate everything that you do as well. And just to piggyback on what Kentry said, that we appreciate everyone for any role that they play in their positions that supports administration. And without us, things won't happen, and without them, other things won't happen. So it's a cycle. It's a role that we play for us to do a good job, so it trickles up to the college and the system that you work for to do a great job. So again, thank you. If no one else tells you, we are telling you thank you, and we appreciate you. The next person that we have is someone that is very, very, very awesome. I must say myself. He's great. He's going to be, our keynote speaker for the day. His name is Barry Horn Jr. And Barry Horn will talk to us about navigating the seas of success. I heard a little bit of it, and I'm so excited to hear the rest. I wanted to be surprised, so I'm hearing the full just as well as you're hearing it right now. And just to give you a little intro for Barry, Barry is currently the manager of the organizational development at Lone Star College System in the Woodlands. With degrees in sociology and counseling and development, he fosters a positive learning culture among staff, faculty, and students. Barry's expertise includes using Clifton strengths in leading initiatives like the mentoring program at Lone Star College Houston North and developing Grace, which is a community building framework. He's directed the academic success program at Lone Star College North Harris, emphasizing holistic approaches to culture and community. Bear is also a licensed professional counselor associate, and he promotes well being and self care among employees, embodying servant leadership and inspiring positive change within the college and the community. Everyone, please help me and give him a warm virtual welcome to Barry Horn Jr.
Ooh. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Heapsters. I'm so happy and excited to be here with you all. I always believe in starting and ending with gratitude, so I definitely want to thank the HipCon committee for inviting me and coordinating today's event. I see you're coming from all over. I see some familiar names, even from U of H too, so I just want to welcome you all. And so I want you to feel like I'm talking with you and not at you. So I'm going to ask for some feedback, some emojis, flood the chat. Please, you will not distract me. It brings me joy, okay? It helps fill my cup. And that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to just share some of my ideas, some experiences with you all. And for those who are just logging on, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I'm going to welcome you aboard Navigating the Seas of Success. So, 10 ways to set boundaries in your workplace voyage. So, throughout today's presentation, I'm going to share with you, as I said, my experiences, but I also want to learn from you all. We have some amazing individuals here. Just like Kentry said, you all are making an impact from where you are as well. So, I want us to learn from each other. So, I'll ask you different questions to help you craft your own 10 ways to success. All right, because at the end of the day, we're all the captain of our own ship. Okay, that's why I got my hat on, my captain's hat. But by the end of these 30 minutes, I want you to feel more equipped than ever to navigate change, right? Because change is never ending. I remember the first time where I was in Galveston and I looked at the sea and it just seemed like it was endless, right? And that's kind of like how we can see life. That's how we see our careers. We don't know if there is land on the other side. It's very scary to see that, but we can trust ourselves, right? Our most important business is ULLC, okay? ULLC. So in the chat, success is very broad. So in the chat, share with me, what does success mean to you? And I have the chat over here, so I'm looking at it as well. What does success mean to you? And I believe in letting our brains marinate too. I know it's early and yeah, but perfect. Work-life balance, okay, making a difference, accomplishing my goals. Yes. Yes, to finish. So keep it coming, keep it going, right? So Oxford Languages states that success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, right? So I like to say if we aim at nothing, we're going to always be successful. So, however, let's focus on the purpose, right? Some of you just said, contributing to community, right? And so purpose fuels everything that we do, okay? The next big thing of today is, what does boundaries mean to you? What does boundaries mean to you? Some people are like, oh man, that's just rules. But to me, it's like a part of work. So what does boundaries mean to you? Structure. The ability to say no. Setting limits. Setting expectations. Yes. Self-care. Self-care. So one of my favorite definitions I'm going to share with you all today is from Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. In their book about boundaries, they define it as kind of a boundary being a personal property line, right? If you have a home, right, you have your apartment, those walls define your boundaries, all right? They define who we are and who we are not. For a painting to be a painting, it has to be in a frame, all right? It has to be in a frame. If not, then it's graffiti on somebody else's property. We don't want that. And of course, being a counselor, I love talking about change. I love talking about boundaries. I'm associated with Rejoice Counseling. I've achieved over 1,000 hours of counseling experience working with couples, individuals, adolescents, and of course around Lone Star College. And what I always see is typically some type of boundary violation or not enough boundaries for the individual. So, and while I'm even also navigating my own life and grief as well, right? There's been times where I've had to take on a project because sadly a colleague, a loved one had passed away, right? Or even I may have some things going on, and yet we still have to deliver the same quality, that same, I say 99%, right? That excellent service to individuals and our colleagues that we work with. Okay, so remaining empathetic to not only just others, but to ourselves as well. So we are all on this journey together, and I hope that the 10 ways that I share with you will help you reflect on your journey in crafting your ways. So let's start at ground zero, right? Let's start at number one, knowing our worth. So basic, right? So basic, but valuing dignity. And of course, it's Black History Month, so I got to hit you with some Black history trivia. Who said, I am the greatest? Greatest. I said that before I knew I was. Who said it? Muhammad Ali, right? Ali. So knowing your worth, right? You are here for a purpose, okay? And just to share something that inspired me when I was younger, I was in the 8th grade. I got into a fight with my bully. It was even before the whole bully movement and everything, but we had the zero tolerance law in place. So where did that put me? That put me in front of a judge, right? In the 8th grade, right? I know, if people, not you, Barry. Yes, and people wonder, why are you so happy? How are you so happy? Because standing in front of a judge, I realized I never want to put my fate in somebody else's hands. All right. And so with that, I recognize my purpose is to help others thrive through education because I recognize we all just want to be heard. And we can even look at the Gallup Global Workplace Report, where they looked at millions of individuals across the country, across the world, and they found that what most people want is a better culture. We just want to be heard, right? To know that my opinion, what I'm saying is worthy. Okay, so that is ground zero, right? That knowing that we are all here for a purpose. And so I love that you all have defined your success. So we all know what our purpose is, okay? Next, we want to stay value anchored. What does that mean, right? Stay anchored by our values. And so you see here in this picture, we have the anchor is below the surface. So a lot of times our values are always there, even if nobody can see it, even if you don't see them. And so we're going to switch over to Mentimeter, okay? So everyone take a moment. You can use your phone, take a picture of the QR code here, or use the code. I'm going to give you all a moment just to sign onto the Mentimeter. Like I said, I think this is a great sample right here. We have some awesome individuals here, and I want to learn from you all. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Hit me with the hearts. All right. And so my question to you, what are your 3 core values? As I said, I'm perfectly fine with marinating. All right. That's some of the best food. I love leftovers, especially that gumbo leftover, right? All the flavors in there. So what are your 3 core values? Wonderful, wonderful. Perfect. You can go to Mentimeter and type in the code. Okay, I see honesty, respect, you have integrity, transparency, kindness to others. Yes, I'm wondering, I'm like, ooh, what's gonna be the three core value of all the heapsters out there? Ooh, integrity, respect, honesty is staying strong right there. Good, good. All right. Ooh, we got 100, 140 responses. I'm loving it, loving it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, keep them coming. And we will share this Mentimeter results with you all as well at the end of this presentation. And so let's switch on back here, right? So we have our three core values, right? And so now, how do they connect to the organization or the department goals of where you're at, right? We're able to now filter it through our three core values when we say, you know what, I'm feeling misaligned. What is going on? It's making us a better detective for ourselves, right? In order to help us advocate for ourselves as well. Another thing I always like to recommend is completing Clifton Strengths. If you haven't already, I highly recommend it. And here's an example of why. Okay. I remember when I was first starting off in my career as an academic advisor, I remember having a supervisor tell me, Barry, why do you always bring your notebook to every single meeting? You're not a student anymore. And I was like, I tried to leave my notebook in my office and I, I was not paying attention as well. Okay, y'all. And what I realized when I took my Clifton strengths is that learner is my third strength. Okay. Writing helps keep me engaged. It helps keep me focused. That's why I'm able to remember policies and different things of that nature even better. Another reason why I always advocate for Clifton Strengths is it's great for both at work and at home. I remember telling my wife about my strengths. I was like, "Ooh, a ranger is my number two." She was like, "I don't see it." And wives, I tell you, they will keep you humble, won't they? So I was like, you know what? How can I use my strengths even at home? That encouraged me to really use even Google Maps. We have a shared calendar now to help us stay even more organized at home too. So stay value anchored. My next one, it's gonna sound childish, but work hard, play hard, right? I've always kind of kept this mentality of working hard and playing hard, having that balance. And and I even think about the Netflix documentary about the Centaurians. Anybody seen that one? Talking about the around the world, they basically researched all like the longest living populations, and what they found was that they eat better. They see that they are more active. They also notice that they play. They sing, they dance, they love spending time with their family. And so I want you all to think about yourself as a Jenga tower, right? Throughout the day, we start off, it's nice and solid, but then people start taking the blocks out, right? They start taking those blocks out. And by the end of the day, are you collapsing, right? Are you collapsing? Or is your foundation still strong? How can we replace those blocks just by putting little 10 to 15 minutes of self-care throughout the day, making sure that we're taking time for a full lunch, right? Enjoying your lunchtime schedule at the end of the day. And so with that, I want to know about your hobbies. So what are your favorite hobbies that bring you joy? What brings you joy? Ooh, sea glass hunting. Yeah, this is always my favorite part. Everybody, y'all so interested. Ooh, jujitsu. Okay. Lifting weights, going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Traveling, spending time with your kids. Yes, community. Yes. So doing what brings you joy. Even if it's during your lunchtime, checking in with a loved one, checking in with somebody, each of those things can be counted as a block back in your tower. Okay. Because what we don't want to come home and end up having our blocks, fall on our family, right? So we want to make sure that we are filling our buckets. Okay, so we want to fill your bucket and others. Okay, so what we're talking about here is this comes from the book from Tom Rath and Don Clifton, who helped, of course, create Clifton Strengths, and is really about generosity. And I'm going to share a kind of sad story, but I promise you, I'm going to flip it as well. Okay, but let's talk about the prison of hopelessness. Okay, so the prison of hopelessness is about the North Korean prisoner of war camps, where they had a 30% death rate, and it's the highest in the US military history. And it was all without physical torture. This was crazy to me, right? And so they were curious about it. So the lead psychiatrist at the time, Dr. William E. Mayer, he studied about thousand of those prisoners, and he found that the soldiers were dying from extreme hopelessness. That is how powerful our brain and how powerful our emotions are. Okay, so let's look at the three techniques that they use. And hopefully none of us are in prison, right? None of us in prison, but we got to look at those extreme cases in order to learn and grow from them. So the first thing that the jailers did was they sowed distrust by awarding those soldiers for snitching, all right, snitching or informing on each other. So they shattered that trust. Okay, so as I go through these, I want you to think about the parallels within the workplace, okay, and even within your past experiences. If you've ever been in a place that had a terrible culture, you'll notice some of these things. So the first thing, shatter trust. It's a bucket dipper. The next one was extreme self-criticism. How many of us are, our worst enemy is our inner me? Okay. So extreme self-criticism. They basically had them do reverse therapy and share all of their deepest regrets, all the good that they could have done but didn't. And what that did was eradicate their own self-worth. Going back to that ground, that one, right? That ground zero. The next thing is that lack of community. So they broke down loyalty to others, they broke down loyalty to their country and their own leadership. And that can sound like I'm just here to do my job, right? That self-isolation, not looking to connect with others. Okay. As I said, there's a balance, right? There's a balance between connecting with others and also our own self-care. The last thing was constant negativity. Okay. Constant negativity. Have any of you ever just watched the news just back to back to back daily? It'll start feeling draining. You're like, is there any good in the world? Where's the hope? So it's constant negativity. Right? So that overwhelming disappointment. And basically what they did was they only delivered the bad news. If a loved one passed away, if a friend had died, they would only share those things with them and not any of the affirmative letters, things like, hey, I can't wait for you to come home. None of that. Okay, so they withheld any positive emotional support. Okay, so I promised y'all, okay, y'all are with me, thank you. I promised you all that I'm gonna switch it, right? Love and hate, two sides of the same coin. So now we know what can fill our buckets, all right? So fostering trust, all right? Fostering trust, staying consistent with our words, with our actions. As I just noticed, the hipsters, y'all core values is integrity and honesty. So that fosters trust. The next one is give and receive feedback. So ask for feedback from those that you trust, that you also want to learn from, hear those different perspectives. Because as I said, we can be our own inner me. Our enemy is our inner me, right? So asking others, most of us just want to lift each other up. So getting that positive affirmation from each other. And we know to cultivate community. So recognizing our impact to the larger result, okay, of our organization, from our position, from who we are, right? Because I know when I go home, I'm buried here, right? So we know that it's about that work-life integration. We're going to talk about that too. And lastly, practicing that gratitude, right? Being aware of our own expectations. I recently learned about this formula about happiness, right? They said it's typically reality minus expectations equals happiness. So if our expectations are so high against that reality, our happiness is going to be negative. So how do we balance our own expectations? How do we see the opportunities from where we are and looking for other ways to thrive? The ultimate result is that hopelessness kills and hope revives. Okay? So hope revives. So make time to be kind and give to others. So my challenge to you is, let's see, let's share some appreciation. As I said, you are all stars. We've all been impacted by a star in our life. I want you to just type in the name of the person who has inspired you in your life. Okay? Give them a shout out right now, okay? Shout out to the stars in your life. And just a couple that I know, of course, right now is yes, mom and dad, right? Your father. I've had plenty of leaders in the past as well. Yes, I've learned so much from Ernesto Venezuela. So shout outs to you, shout out to, as well as the awesome leaders at Tomball as well. Yes, my sister, family, Wonderful. Hey, y'all are filling my heart up with joy this Friday morning. Thank y'all. Y'all are filling my heart up. Okay. So next up, give yourself grace. Okay, we want to give ourselves grace by practicing that unconditional self-acceptance. Growth comes from discomfort, it doesn't come from comfort. If we're so comfortable, how are we growing, right? And also, thank you, Catherine. Feel free to also post in the chat too if you want to. But as I said, that growth comes from discomfort. And the story I could share there is that I remember telling a student that they were ready to graduate. Back when I was an advisor, I was like, hey, you are good to go. We are ready. And I missed the half credit. Man, I felt so hurt when someone was like, hey, Barry, just so you know, this student is going to graduate. They are here with their family. You have to tell them. I felt so devastated. I remember talking to Gina at Lone Star College North Harris, and she told me, Barry, it's not failure, it's a learning opportunity. Now, for every student moving forward, you're going to be aware of that half credit, and they're going to be thankful for it. So we only fail if we fail to learn, okay? So give ourselves grace. We are all on this journey. We're continuing to learn and continuing to grow. So my next challenge, I want you to type, I am a good enough, and finish the sentence, right? That could be, I am a good enough communicator. I am a good enough leader, or a good enough, your title here. But what are you good enough at, right? And the reason why I share that is because growing up, I had to go through speech therapy. Okay, you all hear my list, but there was a time where I had an intense stutter. The only person that could understand me was my mom and dad. And I made theater arts another one of my side passions. Actually, my minor is in theater arts acting to force me to overcome those fears. So you are good enough. Okay. And when we say that, we're able to breathe a little bit easier. Okay, we're able to breathe a little bit easier. So we're halfway through the 10 ways. How we feeling? How we feeling? All right, hit me with the emojis. So next up, protect your peace. I love Marvel. I love superheroes. We have to be our own superheroes too at times, right? We need to protect our peace. So valuing that autonomy and exercising, many of you said it earlier, no, woo-wee, no is powerful, right? Exercising our no muscles. And I'll share kind of 3 ways to do that. So first, we can look at need versus a want, right? If somebody's asked me for something, do I really need to help them? Or do they only want my help? If we're saying yes, the second is that if we're saying yes to something, we're saying no to something else. And that's typically ourselves that we're saying no to. And so it's like, baby, I know these things. I know these things, but how can I say no? So how do we say no without saying no? Here's just one way, okay? Hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. I can't imagine adding another task, but I can help you with a part of it. All right. How can we divide and conquer together? All right. And that way it's more of a team. You're able to lighten the load a little bit. But that's just one example, sharing that you actually are feeling overwhelmed. Okay. And then there are times where I'm feeling overwhelmed. The storm is all around me. How do we find peace in the middle of the storm, right? Y'all know what's that called, right? The peaceful middle of the storm. All right, that's that eye of the storm. All right, how do we find that peace in the middle of the storm? And it's so simple, it's breathe. Okay, and so I'm going to take a moment to just breathe with you all, and I'm going to teach you the box breathing. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to point to a corner. Okay, we're just going to imagine a square. We're going to draw a square. I want you to inhale for 4 counts as we go across, and then we're going to exhale as we go down. Inhale, then exhale. All right, so let's do this together. I want you to hold it up, okay? We're going to start, okay? So we're going to breathe in. We're going to do this one more time. Make sure that you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, okay? So in. All right, so what do you notice about your body? What do you notice about your body? Right? You notice that it relaxes. There's so many times where we're like, I don't even have a moment to breathe. But how long did that take? That took less than a minute for us to just take a moment to just breathe in and breathe out and fuel, right? Cleared your sinuses. I know allergies are strong right now in this spring season. So, yes, just remember to breathe. And then all of a sudden, we're able to organize our thoughts just a little bit better. So, protect your peace. Next, we got to talk about some emotions, right? Is it okay if I talk about emotions? Let's talk about emotions. Laugh now, cry later. And what that is all about is respect, right? The definition of respect is due regard for the feelings and wishes and rights of others. So we talk about respecting others, but oftentimes we forget about respecting our own feelings as well. And I like to say that life without emotions is kind of like trying to sail without even checking the weather. All right, we can predict how we're going to feel, but reality is going to be different. So emotions are kind of fuel. They're not good or bad, like the weather, we can't control it. They just come up. What matters is what we do with it. Okay. Another analogy I like to use is we want to make sure that we're not allowing, say if we're angry, we don't want that anger to drive us. Our actions are always going to be the driver. We want to leave that anger in the back seat. As I said, I've lost loved ones as well. And oftentimes we still have to figure out how do we work through that. Having that grief in the back seat, it's still there. However, I have optimism, I have hope sitting right next beside me. Okay. Anger, I know if it's in the back, it's going to tell me, hey, cut them off, run that light. Hope is next to me saying, you're going to get there. You are going to get there. Okay. So remember that you're going to reach your destination soon. And I learned from even one of my students is that the opposite of love is indifference. And they didn't cite Gandhi. I was like, whoa, you are a genius. But it's indifference. And so remembering to have that care and respect for others and ourselves. So there's power and emotions in the words, right? We can use that to connect simply by saying I. Remember going back to saying no, I feel overwhelmed, right? I'm not blaming you. This is just how I'm feeling right now. And this is why I can't take on another task. I even think about another student when I was leading the academic probation suspension program. Dr. Mans, who was a leader at the time, he was like, you know what, let's change it from pass to academic success. I remember having a student walk up and I was like, hey, are you looking for the academic success program? And they were like, but I'm not academically successful. And I was like, but you will be. There's so many times where labels are so powerful that they can end up weighing us down. And by me saying that, they realize, whoa, you have hope for me. I don't want to let you down. The next thing is seek guidance. So valuing wisdom, looking for those lighthouses. I love how many of you shared your appreciation for previous leaders, your parents. Those are your lighthouses, right? Seek guidance from those that we serve, that we follow, and also work with. All right. When I was first asked to coordinate the academic probation suspension program, I was like, I only have my bachelor's right now. I'm not even a counselor. And you want me to help coordinate these individuals who've been here over 30 years? What am I going to do? I lean back on my ways, right? Knowing that I have a unique perspective to bring. And also, these individuals also want to see our students be successful, right? I'll never forget Rhonda Cannon. I would go to her and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. And she was like, no, Barry, that failed 10 years ago. No, this failed. Hey, this worked, do that. Know that there are people around you who have done so many different things and they'll watch you try something new and fail. So talk to them, learn from their mistakes as well, and we have many mentors in our life that they're not official mentors, but we were mentored by them. So share, I want you, we're going to switch back to our Mentimeter. And I want you to share your favorite quote or a book that keeps you inspired, right? What is your lighthouse? Share a favorite quote or a book. This shall pass. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to use either Mentimeter or the chat. Mentimeter or the chat. A horse whisper. Yes. Ooh, the best parts of life are spiced with fear. Ooh, I like that. Uh-huh. Career moves, just swimming. Yes. Be still. Yes. Please keep them coming, okay? Ooh, the essence of professionalism is painstaking deep attention to detail. Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. All right. So we are reaching the semi-finale, right? The semi-finale. So strive for excellence, not perfection. So much in professionalism, we think like, oh, we must be perfect at all times. But as I said, we're giving ourselves grace. We want to have that 99%, okay, that 99%. And this is even in line with the Lone Star Way, which here we believe that when our results change, we often need a new mindset in order to achieve them. And our cultural beliefs, right, or even the values and the goals within your department help us form the right mindset in order to learn how to do things differently and put the right practices into place in order to get those new results, right? And I love that it's a circle because we're continuing to learn. It's an iterative process, right? We're getting to learn, all right? And so taking ownership, even when we didn't give our best, even if we drop the ball, luckily we can always pick it up, right? We can always pick it up. And lastly, create communities of connection. Okay, I feel just a little bit connected to you all right now with you all just sharing your ideas with me. Thank you. Okay, I am grateful. Um, so everything that we do has a positive or negative impact on someone or even ourselves. Okay, I'll leave you with this final story here. So back then, I remember having two students came to me thinking about taking their lives. I had only met with them for about 30 minutes to an hour. And yet, out of everyone in their life, their friends, their family, their loved ones, they thought about coming and talking to me. Okay. That says a lot with how we connect to others. Your kindness could be somebody else's lifeline. Okay. And we just never know. And I don't know if you're willing to take that risk. I'm not. Okay. Another thing that I want to add to is let's go add to the research, right? According in an article in a research that was published in Forbes, they found that according to 69% of about 3,400 people that they looked at across 10 countries, that 69% felt that their managers had the greatest impact on their mental health, on par with their partners. That's more than their doctor, more than their therapist. And that makes sense, right? Because we hardly see them, hardly see our doctors or our therapists. So, but we are here 8 hours a day, right? We're here 40 hours a week. Of course, our environment, the people around us are going to impact us. So let's make it the best that we can, okay? And that starts with you because you're a star and you are shining, and I want you to be that light in the darkness, okay? So in conclusion, we know the 10 ways. And as I said, I'm just sharing my 10 ways with you. I hope this helps craft your own 10 ways. But we know that it's about knowing your worth, staying value anchored, work hard, play hard, fill your bucket, give grace, protect your peace, laugh now, cry later, seek guidance, strive for excellence, not perfection. And then lastly, we can then give that overflow to others and create communities of connection. Okay. So now we're ready to set sail, okay? And I have to show you. Any thoughts, please post them in the chat for me. I know as we're getting close to our time, but I want you all to, you're welcome. If you craft your 10 ways, please feel free to email me. Raquel is going to share my contact information. Feel free to share them with me. If one of them really resonated with you, please share it as well. I want to learn from you all. As I said, I believe in receiving that feedback too. So my challenge is create your own 10 ways of success because I just want to see you all thrive in the future. So remain anchored throughout the storms and you are the captain of your own life. Okay. And we got to remember, I learned from all these other captains as well. And with that, thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. You have so many amazing, amazing presenters, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Barry, for that. That was awesome. I hope you all have been taking notes. I have. Please share in the chat what was the biggest takeaway or what some things that you would like to incorporate that you received from Barry today. While you do that, as he mentioned, his contact information is at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to email him or contact him for more information, or if you just want to connect with him. Also, me paraphrasing, just to be heard. That is one of the takeaways that I received from Barry today is being heard, because we all want to be heard, so make sure you're vocal because your feelings matters. How you feel matters. Protect your peace, and that's self-explanatory. So look for different ways that you can protect your peace, whether it's meditating, whether it's walking away, whether it's revisiting the situation. So just make sure you protect your peace. Reset. Find ways throughout the day to reset, whether it's taking a 5-minute walk, whether it's going to the restroom if you don't have to, whether it's just going to get something out of the car, whether it's actually having lunch away from your desk. So just finding ways to reset. And lastly, just breathe. That box breathing, Barry, that's something I will make sure that I will incorporate daily. That is a gem. And we thank you for all the gems that you have shared with us. That was great, Barry. Thank you so much. Everyone, give Barry a virtual round of applause. Thank you for your time, your insights, and everything.